All right, so just to give you an idea about grading, I do think that grading writing is a pretty weird thing to do, right? It's subjective, so I know you're probably wondering how am I going to be grading you. Um, I will say I tend to be a pretty easy grader as long as I can see that you're, proving that you're doing the work. Your grades on each project will be based on the final text you turn in, also the process of revision and drafting, your involvement in workshops, your involvement in one-on-one conferences with me. So you can't get away with just turning in the last paper because it all rolls into your grade. So the final product is not the only part of this class. The rest of the process of getting to the final product is equally important. So the way the grades are going to break down, three major projects, project 1, 2, and 3, each worth 20% of your grade. Your written journal posts are going to be worth 15%, and so are your video responses of 30% total between the two of those, and then participation in workshops and conferences is 10%. So basically, if you try to get away with not doing the videos or try to not do the um, journal blogs, or if you try to not, come to conference or call me for conferences, um, you can't get an A in the course. That's basically what it breaks down to. Late work, I'll accept. You can't pass the class without turning in all the projects, so I have to accept late work, but it does come with a penalty. For every day that you're late on a project, it's going to be um, half a letter grade off. So if it was due yesterday, you can't get better than an A minus. If it's due 2 days ago, you can't get better than a B plus. So that way you can see um, what happens when you turn something in late. And then trust me, I hate taking off points just because something's late. So if we have extenuating circumstances, if something comes up, feel free to email me, let me know. We can probably work something out, but you know, um, in general, try to be on time. That's the basic thing there. Um, One thing I will say is that blog posts are not generally accepted late. It's kind of an all or nothing grade, and I need it by the time that it is due because that's how I decide what we're going to talk about the next week. I read your posts, I see what you're interested in, what you're hung up on, and I kind of craft my video response to that, and hopefully we keep moving in that direction. So if I don't hear from you in time, um, I can't really do anything with your blog posts. So for that reason alone, blog posts will not be accepted late, and neither will video responses. So stay on top of that, get them in on time. You've got a full week to get them to me um, between Sunday and Sunday. So whatever it works in your schedule, if you have to record them at your office after work, if you're full time, got a full time job, if you got to record them after the kids go to bed, whatever your scenario is, um, you should have plenty of time in the week to make that happen. You know, getting to the end here, plagiarism, don't do it, all right? Don't use other people's work and not cite them, and don't use work that you've already turned in and try to pass it off as new work, all right? I don't tolerate plagiarism. It's an easy way to get kicked out of college, and, there's nothing um, there's nothing more avoidable than plagiarism. If you've got to take somebody else's idea, which happens all the time, especially in research projects, cite them, all right? If you're using somebody else's lyrics from a song, cite it, you know, certainly writing is a collaborative act. You're going to be using other voices, other ideas, and that's encouraged just as long as you let us know where they're coming from. Um, I will say, as far as our semester hour policy, this is a 3 credit course, meaning you should expect to do about 9 hours of work per week on this course. So that'll be balanced between readings, which I will admit are a little bit substantial, but I'm never going to assign a reading just for busy work. They're always going to be something really important to the course. Whether that's readings, whether it's your own writing, whether it's responding and blogging and making videos, you should expect about 9 hours of work here. As for the last section of our syllabus, my email policy, I do respond to emails. I try to do it as fast as possible, and I'm trying to make the promise that you're going to hear back from me at least within 48 hours. So if you email me, it's been 2 days, you haven't heard back, feel free to email me again, but um, don't get upset if it takes 48 hours. I do have something like 80 students between my classes, so things get hectic, but I always will try to respond to you. Everything that you are concerned about, I am also concerned about. Um, I will say, though, if it's anything simple, like asking me what you're missing in class or when something's due, always go to the blog first, because it's always going to be there. In fact, if you ask me, I'll check the blog and let you know. So go ahead and cut out the middleman and be familiar with the course blog, know when things are due. You'll notice on the blog there is a countdown to the due date for Project 1 on the sidebar. You're always going to be able to see it. September 28th is the due date on Project 1. And then we've also got drafting dates, workshop dates, and things like that along the sidebar. So there shouldn't be any mysteries. You know when things are due. The weekly calendar will be updated every week. Let's take a look at week 1 now for what's expected for this week. Go over the course syllabus. I've kind of read it to you, but I do expect you guys to get familiar with it. So go ahead and look on the course blog or get it from the email attachment and make sure you know the course syllabus. I'd also like you to buy the textbook. Again, Gender, Race, and Class in Media by Dines and Humez. You can find that on Amazon. I've got a link to buy it on Amazon on our course blog under the week 1 calendar. I do expect you to familiarize yourself with the course blog, and I expect you to read Chapter 1 in our textbook. I will be uploading a PDF of that later today because I know most of you won't have already bought the textbook. So for the first 2 weeks or so, I will provide PDFs of the readings. After that, you're on your own. So do make sure you go ahead and purchase that book. I've also got a reading called This Isn't What We Did in High School that I'd like you to read and respond to. It's only 3 pages long. So basically, some of our discussion this week is going to center on figuring out how this course is different from what we've done in the past, right? As far as work you're going to need to do, again, create a WordPress account and create a YouTube account. And then I expect you to do a weekly video reflection. Your first one is due by Sunday, the end of the night Sunday, okay? Introduce yourself to the class. There's some prompt questions on the video response week 1 page that'll help you know what we're looking for. And finally, you'll need to respond to Blog Journal 1. Again, questions are available on the Journal 1 link on the website. So that's this week, guys. Go ahead and jump in. If you got any questions, email me for sure. I'll be around all week. So let's go ahead and get this thing started off right. Can't wait to see your videos. Can't wait to see what you guys are up to, where you're coming from, and get to know each other. And once you upload your own video, feel free to definitely check out other people's videos as well, because it's no fun just broadcasting into the void. We want to go ahead and get to know each other, especially in terms of workshops coming up right around the corner for that first project. All right, again, any questions, feel free to email me. And welcome to the course. Hope you guys have a great first week.